Hi everyone, it's Nikki and welcome back to my channel. Unless you're new here, then just, I don't know, welcome. Anyway, today we'll be discussing a sign of affection while I journal about it. It's good. It's really good. Dare I say better than most popular romance anime out there. You know how in most, the female lead is always the shy type who won't initiate anything, while the male lead is always the one making the first move. In most cases, he's always chill, carries a blank face, and even unfazed by everything. It's become this whole trope which I've grown to hate. Yeah, a sign of affection is no different, but the execution and the way they're breaking down these behaviors is what made me really fall in love with the sign of affection. Also, I'll spoil all of the sign of affection, at least just the anime, so you've been warned. Anyway, back to sign of affection, aka a rare case of me enjoying romance anime. See, I'm not the type to prioritize watching romance. When I first got into anime when I was like 12, they were all mostly romance, right? And now I'm just not excited when someone recommends me one. I know it might sound a bit pick-me, but I swear I'm not. I like romance as a genre. I just prefer it if it went along with like action or something else going on in the anime as well. Not just plain romance, you know? Maybe that's why I didn't like Sasaki Tomiyan as much as I thought I would. I think I just got burnt out on the genre, especially straight romance. It always feels like the same formula. High school setting, shy girl falls in love with the fucking cool guy, lots of unnecessary misunderstandings, slow burn, etc. So when my friend recommended The Sign of Affection, I was like, nah, it's romance. I barely have time to watch anime as it is, so why would I spend that time on something I feel like I've already seen 100 times? I could be finishing Haikyuu, for example. You know, side note, I watched season 1 and season 2 of Haikyuu back in 2020 during lockdown, instantly fell in love with it, and somehow I still haven't caught up since. Like, girl, what am I doing? Anyway, romance as a genre is really hard to keep interesting across different anime, but my friend swore I'd love A Sign of Affection if I gave it a real chance, and she was right. They kiss on the 6th episode. Well, like, not really kiss, but like they become a thing on the 6th episode, which is like halfway through the anime. The fuck? Another trope I hate in romance anime is that the first kiss equals we're a couple now, and usually the kiss is not consensual, but not a sign of affection. So we don't just get the will they want the situation, but also how they'll navigate as a couple after they get together, which I fucking love, bro. Like, holy shit. It's now one of my favorite anime romance, right up there with the Yon of the Dawn, Bloom into You, Snow with the red hair, My Love Story with Yamada, and I don't know, Dandaran. Yeah, it's that good. Before I continue my discussion, let's talk a little bit about this spread. I decided to paint poppy flowers for this journal spread because I saw them in one of the official arts the author has created. But bro, painting poppies is so weird because the petals are so weirdly shaped. Like, the petals look like they are continual all around without clear separations. I'm probably not making any sense, but I eventually figured it out, and I think they turned out pretty cute. Also, you'll see later in the video where I made bows out of washi tape. Incorporating something new in my journal spread is always so fun. I'm definitely gonna keep making these bow washi tapes for my spreads. Not only are they cute, but they give that 3D look which gives the spread more texture and depth. So yeah. By the way, the washi tape bows were not my idea. I took it from another user on Instagram. I'll tag her somewhere, I don't know. So yeah. Aside from the obvious, the great representation of deaf people, A Sign of Affection really stood out to me because the characters are just so well written as well. They're not just two people falling in love. They're individuals with actual depth and distinct personalities. The author didn't just slap on the love interest label and call it a day. These characters feel real. One thing that always bugs me in a lot of romance anime is how the fuck did you all fall in love with each other? Like, did you just find each other attractive and nice? That's it. You don't share anything in common, no mutual passions, no shared interests, just vibes. Please prove me wrong on this. I fully admit my memory is kinda shit and I'm probably forgetting stuff, but from what I do remember, that's often the case. That's why I loved My Love Story with Yamada so much, because the couple had something to bond over. Gaming. It wasn't just about attraction, it was about connection. And in A Sign of Affection, what brings Yuki and Utsumi together is their shared desire to discover the world. Yuki, the female lead, has lived a very sheltered life because of her disability. But then she meets Itsuomi, who's traveled a lot and passionate about learning different languages and cultures. Yuki's world was small and quiet, and on the contrary, Itsuomi's was vast and vibrant. She admired that about him. She began to realize there's so much more out there, and she started to dream about experiencing that herself. And the best part, they actually talk about this stuff. They have real conversations about their passions, their dreams, and how they see their world. Yuki even starts a part-time job just so she could travel with him. That kind of emotional connection, built on shared interests and values, values is something I barely see in romance anime. Again, maybe I've just missed the good ones, but A Sign of Affection nailed it. Honestly, this is one of the biggest reasons why I fell in love with the series. I touched on this earlier, but let me just say it clearly. I hate the typical female and male lead tropes in a romance anime. It's honestly low-key misogynistic too, how the female lead is always timid and shy, while the male lead is cool, mysterious, and emotionally unavailable. But with Yuki, it actually works. And here's the thing, it's justified. I actually find it pretty endearing and cute too. I'm probably contradicting myself right now, but hear me out. At first, I was a little annoyed at Yuki because of that. I thought, oh great, another shy girl, and I was ready to check out. But then the anime gave context to her behavior, and I was like, wait, that actually makes a lot of sense. And suddenly, I was fully rooting for her. It's not like she's just shy either. She made the first move, bro. She asked for Utsuomi's contact info during their second meeting. Like, damn girl, go off. It really showed us the difference between shy and low self-esteem. She's out here defying the trope while still fitting into it in a way that feels real. And let's not forget, she confessed her feelings first too. Yuki may be timid, but she's also bold when it counts. She puts herself out there despite being scared of rejection. And that kind of quiet courage deserves major respect. Like I said earlier, when you take the time to explain why a character acts the way they do, it just makes the whole story better. And with Yuki, her personality is shaped by her life experiences. She was born deaf, and because of that, her family has always been super protective. Even at 19, she still has a curfew, which is wild. But also shows how sheltered she's been. Her world is smaller and more controlled, more innocent as well. Now compare that with Somi, who's traveled the world and dated other people. He's confident and experienced. So when he flirts or gets close, it's just another day for him. But for Yuki, it's her first time feeling all of this, and she doesn't always know how to respond. Itsuomi knows he's making her flustered, and maybe he likes teasing her a bit because of it. My god, I'm so single. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, of course she's shy and timid, especially around him. But that doesn't mean she lacks confidence. She does believe in herself, and she takes the initiative when it matters. And that balance, that's what makes her a great character. I love Yuki, and we need more Yukis in the world. Now let's talk about Itsuomi. Yes, he's your typical cool, unfazed male lead in romance anime, but he's actually interesting. What I cannot stand, aside from the shy female leads, is a boring male lead whose only job is to serve face and maybe like abs or something. That's it. No personality, no depth, just eye candy. At first glance, I thought Itsuomi was gonna be exactly that, but oh boy, I was so wrong. He's not just chill for the sake of being chill. There's actually a reason behind it. One of his biggest passion is traveling. The calm, unfazed vibe is not because he doesn't care, it's because he's experienced. He's popular, clearly has had past relationships, and just knows himself well. Don't get me wrong, he's not cold or detached. Around Yoshi, he smiles a lot, and he's actually really affectionate in his own way. He's all over her too, like damn, bro has never heard of personal space. It's so cute though. Unlike a lot of male leads who are too cool for romance and distant, Itsuomi communicates, and it's so refreshing to see. Other male leads with a cool, chill personality are mostly in high school. Like, boy, you're 15, stop acting like you know everything. The fuck? Itsuomi, on the other hand, is a grown-ass adult, and it shows in the best way. One of my favorite things about him is how curious he is. Like, he seems like the type of guy who'd get bit by a snake and be like, oh wow, so that's what a snake bite feels like. Fascinating. As a kid, he moved around a lot, but he primarily grew up in Germany. So he struggled at first to communicate, but he was determined to learn German just so he could tell other kids that he wanted to be their friend, which is so cute. Like, holy shit. So of course, when he meets Yuki, he puts in the effort to learn sign language, basically at the speed of light. Not because he's a savior or anything, but because he genuinely wants to connect with her. He's been in her shoes before, not being understood, and that shared experience becomes something they bond over. He's so considerate too, like he makes sure she can read his lips, adjusts his communication style, doesn't leave her out on conversations, and doesn't make her feel like she's a burden either. Seriously, this is the standard. Moving on, I generally cannot stand the childhood friend character. What's his name again? I forgot. Oshi? Whatever, I don't give a fuck. I've seen way too many people feeling bad for him, but let's be real, he's romanticizing Yuki's situation in the most tone-deaf way possible. That scene where he thinks it's special that they're signing to each other because no one else understands them, that's not cute. That's Yuki's daily reality. It's not a secret language, it's how she communicates in a world that often refuses to meet her halfway. Motherfucker is high-key possessive too, what the fuck? She wanted to keep Yuki locked up in her house where it's safe, like she's some fragile thing that needs protecting. She's not a child. She's a young woman fully capable of navigating the world, especially when people actually respect her autonomy. Yes, I'm referring to you, Washi. What? And what frustrates me even more is seeing people pity him or even preferring him over Itsuomi. Like, are we watching the same anime? This dude wanted her confined, dependent, and isolated, all under the guise of caring. That's not love, that's control. I feel like a lot of people will miss the point here. Being disabled doesn't automatically mean someone is struggling or in need of saving. And I'm not disabled myself, but I feel like that's what a lot of disabled people feel like, okay? Yuki's not broken. Her experiences and challenges are her normal. It's all she's known her whole life. What she needs is understanding and respect. I'm again talking about you, Hoshi, or however you pronounce your fucking name. So yeah, if you like him, unsubscribe. Okay, I'm kidding. I barely have enough subscribers to say that, but do argue with me in the comments if you want for the engagement. Imagine being in a relationship so healthy that you actually communicate. Yuki is deaf. She's deaf and yet they can communicate their feelings better than most couples in romance anime. Sure, you could say they missed each other's confessions at first. One didn't see it, the other one didn't hear it literally. But let's be clear, that's not miscommunication. That's just two people being shy and nervous about their feelings, which is completely normal. Yuki literally confessed in sign, but my bro was looking away. What the fuck? And when he confessed for the first time too, he did it while patting her head, so she couldn't read his lips. That's such a coward behavior, bro. But despite all of that, they got there. And I love them so much for that. They're literally the epitome of a perfect couple. And when I say perfect, I don't mean they're flawless. I mean they communicate. Communication isn't just cute, okay? It's crucial in every kind of relationship. In romantic relationships, in friendships, and all of that. And A Sign of Affection absolutely nails that. Now let's talk about the side couples, specifically Emma and Shein. I'm sorry, but I do not like them at all. When Shein was introduced, I literally fell in love. That man had main character energy, but Emma, be so for real. She's such a bitch. Like, what are boundaries to her? What is rejection? Because clearly she doesn't know either. I don't even hate Shein for anything he did. I just hate that he likes Emma since high school, by the fucking way. What the fuck? Imagine crushing on someone for so long who's also been crushing on your best friend just as long. Shein apparently loves pain. Like, please, Shein, you can do so much better than that. Choose me instead, not her. Anyone but her. And Emma's obsession with Itsuomi, girl, it's giving delusion. He could have filed a whole restraining order, and honestly, I wouldn't have blamed him. She literally showed up to his house, uninvited, claiming she couldn't stay at her home or something. And his response? He slept at his friend's house instead. He literally said, I'd rather couch surf than be in my own house with you there. That's so funny. God, I love Itsuomi. And then after her little solo sleepover at his place, she had the nerve to say something outrageous out loud while Yuki was leaving his place. Context, I think Yuki and Itsuomi were hanging out at his place, and while he was escorting her towards the door, Emma was outside waiting to give Itsuomi his keys back. Yeah, anyway, she said something like, oh, thanks for letting me stay over, or something. Like, girl, first of all, Yuki can't hear you, so joke's on you. Also, you acting like a fucking 13-year-old. Damn, it's so embarrassing now. Just give up, bro. Shein, baby, please, open your eyes. Stop chasing someone who doesn't know what emotional maturity is. Be my boyfriend instead, please. Also, she moved on with Shein way too fast, and so now I'm worried for Shein. There aren't many side couples in the anime, but Rin and Kyoya are hands down my favorite. On the flip side, Emma and Shein, yeah, I can't stand them at all. But anyway, back to Rin and Kyoya. Rin has had a crush on Kyoya since way back, like from the very beginning of the anime. We're not totally sure how Kyoya felt at first, but over the time, especially while third wheeling Yuki and Itsuomi together, they naturally grew closer. Their confession scene was fucking adorable, but what I love most was that they didn't even jump into the dating right away. It's refreshing to see a different kind of romantic development in romance anime. Even though Kyoya clearly returns Rin's feelings, he's just not ready to start a relationship yet, and that's completely valid. They're taking their time, and honestly, I really respect that. Plus, both of them are fantastic characters in their own right. Rin is such a supportive friend, even though she doesn't know any sign language. We all need a friend like Rin. And Kyoya, he plays it cool, but deep down, he's is such a softie. I love them both so much, and I wouldn't be talking about them if I didn't care about them, bro. They're actually fucking cute. Another huge reason why I love this anime so much is because of the subtle realism. And also, for once, it doesn't take place in high school. Like, God fucking finally. That alone makes it stand out. For the realism in the show is really well done. For example, we get a deaf character who's not just a token addition. She's actually a thoughtful and respectful representation of that disability. Another small detail that I appreciated was how they talk about dyeing their hair. All the characters naturally have dark hair, which makes sense since they're all Japanese, right? Instead of giving them unrealistic flashy hair colors like you see in so many other anime, they all have naturally black hair with interesting subtle variations. Like Oshi's hair having a greenish tint, or young Yugi's hair having a reddish hue. And again, I cannot stress this enough, it doesn't take place in high school. They're all adults. I've honestly grown so tired of high school romance in anime. There's just too much of it. And at 21, I don't really relate to those stories anymore. I've outgrown the whole we're 15 and destined to be together forever trope. Like, no, you're still figuring life out. Shut up. It's refreshing to see adult characters navigating love in a more realistic, emotional, mature way. It just hits different when the characters are actually old enough to know what they want. So yeah, those are my thoughts on A Sign of Affection. And if you haven't watched it yet, go do that now. Also, I literally spoiled you on so many things. Why would you do that to yourselves? I loved watching A Sign of Affection so much that I actually want to pick up the manga sooner or later. Maybe even buy a few volumes because the art is just so pretty. Anyway, I'm really happy with how this spread turned out. I especially love the bow washi tips I added. Subscribe if you like watching someone journal while they ramble nonsense about anime. Leave a like too if you like this video. And yeah, I hope I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye!